What is up? What is up? What is up, my YouTube friends and family? It is awesome to see you guys tonight. I hope you are doing absolutely fantastic. Let me know where you're from in the chat. That would be awesome. For those of you who do not know, my name is Michael Fire Jr. and we are going to hang out here. I'm going to try to do the best I can to answer your live streaming questions. And if you have any YouTube growth questions or anything like that, I would be more than happy to impart what I've learned over the last almost 3 years of YouTube full-time. So I am more than happy to answer your questions. And it is awesome to see so many freaking fantastic people here tonight. We've got Gregory Simonez in the house. Moss is in the house. Hello, Moss. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. Julio Morales is in the house. Frail Gaming. Hello. Hello, hello, Frail Gaming. It is awesome to see you. The Beak. Happy Saturday from 30,000 feet. Holy, or 37,000 feet. That's even higher. That's pretty high. That's a lot higher than you would think it would be. 37,000 feet. That's big. It's big. Yeah, that's really high. Let's put that. There we go. My audio sounds strange. All right, let me repair that because I know what it is. It is my yeah, I know what it is. Let's fix it. We're gonna remove that, and we're gonna remove this. The problem is that I have air conditioner running, so you're just gonna have to let me know if the air conditioner sounds too loud. But that should have repaired the audio right there. Hey, Crunchy Python from Charleston, South Carolina. Awesome, awesome. Yes, the aircon is on. The aircon is on. Let's see. Who else we got in here? Hugh Evans. Hello. So how this works, Giorgio, hello. So how this works if you're new to the stream, Monica is typing in the chat. She has the same last name as mine. That's kind of how you know who she is. If you want to ask a question, you just @, Monica, and she will definitely ask me the question from the amazing, beautiful, amazingly gorgeous sandwich cam of questions. It's going to be awesome. Artisan Art, hello. It is awesome to see you. And Sheikha Playas was in the house super mega early on. I know this does not really fall into a fantastic time zone for him. So all I can say is stay up later, brother. Jim Morales, hello. Dolphin 55. Good evening, good evening. So is the sound any better? Is the sound any better?
The air conditioner sounds really loud.
Does it? Well, can you turn it on to or just, yeah, turn it to low, and we'll see what happens. The air conditioner's blowing. What are you gonna do? It's either have the air conditioner blowing or us sweating to death. So there's that. The Arab immigrants, hello. It is awesome to see you. So, all right, I think it's that time where we should take some questions. Do we have any questions? Hey, Wendell Live, good evening. Michael T. Panetta is in the house and saying that it sounds much better. It is good to see you as well. Tiamor Ali, hello. WEVM Productions from Michigan. Awesome. We can hear the AC, but your comfort is more important. I think so, but there is a question. Well, then, you know what? Let us take this moment to go over and look. Feast your eyes on the most beautiful, wonderful woman and amazing sandwich maker, the wonderful Monica Question Cam. Here we go right now.
I wish you would stop doing that. Hello, everybody. It is great to see you. We're ready for a really good evening this evening, so hopefully you brought your questions because Michael is ready to answer them, and our goal is always to stump him. We're going to try to stump him today, so we'll see what we can do. Okay, the first question comes from Crouching Python saying, is there a way to do a sound check on YouTube, then delete it just to test?
Awesome question. Let me see if I can find it because I want to show something fun. So just talk.
Okay, just talk. He wants me to occupy your time because he's checking for something. So let's see. We had a pretty good day today. It was very nice here, a little bit cooler than usual. So we were able to do a little bit of stuff outside today, which was really good. Can't find it.
All right. So Crouching Python, is there a way to do a live stream and then
Sound check.
a sound check? Yes, there absolutely is. All right, so let me see if I can show you. I don't know that I can show you how to do this while I'm physically live. That's the problem. But here is my stream here. So let's see. We're going to pop over into here. I'm going to show you guys some new tricks today, by the way. But we'll get to that later. So if you go over here and you set up, you know, when you go into your Go Live button, and actually, let me see if I can do this. I might be able to do this actually. If the stream goes dead, it's Crouching Python's fault. Just keep that in mind. If the stream goes dead, it's Crouching Python's fault. So when we come back live, you better be back here so I can chastise you endlessly for at least 5 or 10 minutes. All right, Monica's reading out loud over there. It's really weird. It's really weird. Oh. Yeah, you got to put your mic right up there. Get it right in there. All right, so you're going to come up with something like this, but you could just go. What you want to do? Sometimes you can go into these, right? And I can't go into that now because that's my current live one. But if you want it, but usually when I'm not physically live, this will come up with another thing that says, "Do you want to duplicate this broadcast?" And if you click yes. Then you go in there and you set that broadcast that you just duplicated to unlisted. Let me do this. You set that broadcast that you just made to unlisted, and then you can go ahead and broadcast to that broadcast, which is unlisted, and then stop it, or just go and listen to it on your computer through your headphones to see if your audio sounds good and see if it checks out. If it does, then you can create the broadcast that you want. You can also create multiple upcoming broadcasts so that all you have to do is change the stream key for different broadcasts so that you know which one you're going live to. And you can broadcast to multiple different broadcasts to do tests. I test all the time. Usually I'll just call the broadcast test, and I'll leave it as private or unlisted so that I can hear what it sounds like and know what's going on and all that kind of stuff. So yes, you definitely can go live physically to YouTube and test it out. That's kind of how you would do it. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a little bit confusing because I can't physically do it while I am live, but I know you guys understand. I think. I'm hoping. And thank you very much, Crouching Python, for not crashing the stream. I do appreciate that as well. I absolutely, definitely appreciate that as well. All right, so I'm wondering if we have. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Are we gonna do that again? Are we gonna do that again? Is that what's gonna be happening? I must have that on one of my. I must have that on one of my things, and that was not what was supposed to happen. But let's go to the wonderful and amazingly fantastic Monica question cam, and see if there's another question.
There is another question, and I'm going to talk louder. Is that any better? I hope so, because we sort of tested this before we streamed, but it was I think it's just more of a projection thing than an actual microphone thing, so I'm hoping that's better. Next question is from Dolphin55 saying, I live stream a Q&A live show. What's the best way to add the questions on stream and easily change to them? I use OBS.
First of all, she's pretty freaking awesome, right? That's all I'm saying. Hopefully you guys were able to hear her better that time, because we did, like she said, poke around with the the volume a little bit there, and there you go. You see, I told you guys that I would figure out a way to do this right here, and see how I figured out a way to do that? I did. So now I can read the question too. I live stream a Q&A live. Okay, so what's the best way to add questions on stream and easily change to them? You mean like that? Like that? Is that what you want to do? Because if that's what you're looking to do, I'm going to tell you right now that... What?
Just saying it's a mic thing.
It's a mic thing?
Not a mic thing.
Yeah.
Like,
your microphone thing?
they're saying it's, yeah.
You got to get right up there. You got to have it. You got to really get you. Yeah. So if you want to learn how to do this thing right here, there is a video coming in a week and a half that's going to show you exactly how to do that. But I will kind of give it away and say that it is a plugin that you can get that captures pieces of the screen. And you kind of have to use it in conjunction with another plugin. But this particular plugin right here is called Scrab, if you're interested in checking it out. I will say this, anytime we talk about any kind of plugins that will work for your computer, if you're using Streamlabs OBS, don't cry, but they're not for you. They work on regular OBS Studio. So this particular plugin where you can put your chat on the screen, where you can put your questions on the screen, is called Scrab. And basically it works really simply. You just click a hotkey on your button that you set, and then you select a segment of the screen, and then when you click enter, it appears on the screen, and you just have to kind of put it where you want it. Now if I leave Dolphin's question up there and I were to add another comment here, let's say I wanted to add this one from my buddy Giorgio, I can do that, and you can see Giorgio's question pops up right there where Dolphin's question, or excuse me, it's not a question. Giorgio is just being friendly, but it does pop up in the same location. So hopefully that answers your question. The name of this freaking, I can never get it. Why? The name of this plugin right there is Scrab. Scrab. All right, let's go see what Monica has to say, because she's awesome. Right? Let me know in the comments what you think.
Well, they can't hear me today, so we're not that awesome. Is that any better? I'm closer to the microphone, and I'm trying to speak as loud as I can. Is that a little better? We'll do the best we can, and we'll figure it out for next week. We have a question from Michael Picardo. Do you help people set up their streams like this? Aha. Well, search harder.
There's so many questions and comments going on here. If I had seen, all right. I apologize for my inability to find Mr. Richard Picardo's question, but I do. Michael, sorry. Richard, come on, honey. Freaking guys, can't even get his name right. I'm gonna need a new sandwich maker tonight. I'm telling you, I'm probably gonna get beat up after this stream because I'm feeling feisty. But anyway, yes, I do. If you go to my webpage, michaelfirerjr.com, spelled exactly like it is down here, except for it's all one word with a dot and a comma at the end of it. If you go, excuse me, if you go there and you scroll to the very bottom, there's a thing that says work with me, and it has some rates for it has some rates for consulting with me and all that kind of stuff. All you have to do, type me out an email, comes to me, and I will I give you a contact information. We can chat a little bit and see what you need, and I may very well be able to absolutely help you. I have done quite a few of these in the past with actually some relatively major corporations, so it's pretty exciting. I do enjoy doing consulting, and I absolutely would love to help you set up your stream if you'd like. I just want everyone to know that there's no magic button. If stuff is not working on your stream and your computer sucks or whatever, coming in and consulting is not like a magic button to fix all the problems. I know how to fix all the problems, but sometimes the fix for the problems is don't use a Mac or buy different equipment or your camera sucks or something. So I just want everyone to be aware that that's a lot of the reason why I consult with companies instead of generally people, because when I tell a company that it's, you know, the computer that they're trying to stream with sucks, they don't take it personal. You know, it's just, it is what it is. Sometimes when you consult with people and you tell them your equipment just isn't going to do what you want it to do, it doesn't mean the equipment sucks. It means it's not going to do what you want it to do. So I just want folks to know that if you're interested in consulting with me, I love to do it, and I can definitely help you to make your streams run smoothly, but always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. Let's go to the amazingly beautiful and fantastic Monica. Wait, hold. You can't. You still.
They're saying that it's the mic.
There. So you're not hearing her at all, or she's just very quiet. All right. Let's.
They can hear more the air conditioner. They can't hear me. They're saying I need a new mic. I need a computer.
Well, let's see. Go ahead and talk.
How's this? How does that sound? Any better? Do I need to be louder?
Let's try this. Go ahead and keep talking.
Okay, I will keep talking. He's trying to adjust my mic and my sound and whatnot, so we're trying to figure it out. So hopefully eventually, and seen, because now I see my camera jumped a little, so hopefully that's okay.
Well, we switched to this mic.
Okay. So, it still says I'm quiet. It's very quiet. Mic goes quiet. Still the same. Try changing the decibels, Pro Gaming says.
Yeah, I know how to work this. So keep talking.
They're not telling you anything you don't know. I know. Greg Simoness says keep Michael under control. I'm working on it. It doesn't always work. I'm sorry. I do what I can. Muffled, and you can't hear the air conditioner. That's what they're saying. Slightly better. So maybe it's just a
So we're good. We're better now.
It's saying better. Giorgio says better.
All right. Well, then we'll just use this microphone for tonight.
Okay, that's better now. It says you can hear the air conditioner, but still quiet. It has to be the mic.
Yep, I'll have to readjust that mic at some point.
How dare you leave Monica alone?
All right. Do we have any questions, beautiful?
See, now quiet. Okay, quiet. Now it's changed. Wendell live. We can hear you, but it's not the best quality. Okay, maybe we should turn the air off for a little bit.
All right.
Okay, I'll read you a question, and then we can move on.
All right.
Next question actually comes from Moss. He says, has anyone found middle ads all of a sudden appearing on their videos? I try not to have middle advertisements, but YouTube has put them on automatically for me. It's annoying. And that might not be a question for Michael, but there you go.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now how to avoid that. Basically, I know, and let's toss this up right here. Is that better sounding for you guys right there? Is it quieter now? Can we have an intimate moment where we just talk, you and me? You know. Moss, I can show you how to fix that problem. So when you're uploading your videos, you're gonna, if you're using the new studio, which I assume the old studio probably doesn't work anymore, but you're gonna notice when you get to the screen where it talks about ads, that it automatically has the mid-roll ad checked. So it's automatically on, and they did this because they switched from the 10-minute mid-roll to, it's not the AC, it's the mic pickup. I don't know. We'll see, because we use two different mics now. So, So basically, it's the 8-minute or the 10-minute. They switched to the 8-minute, and now they're basically checking it on totally. So what happens is if you go and you, once the video is processed and uploaded, go into monetization and just turn it off. And there might be a way to automatically turn off mid-roll ads, but right now they have it checked on no matter what happens. So just keep that in mind. It is what it is. Let's see if Monica's mic is any better here. All right, go ahead, baby.
How's that? Okay, the air conditioner's off. He did some tweaking. Is this any better? I hope so, because I might just have to use sign language, and I don't know sign language, so hopefully that's better. Okay.
I do hear something yapping over there.
Do you hear? Do you hear? Is it making... There we go. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that works. All right, well, let's try this question from the American Wanderer, saying, I finally got the guest set up in OBS PC computer. After placing and sizing the picture from Skype, the image will shrink down and then pop back to the original size over and over again. And I'm going to add help answer that.
All right, I will help. I can't find this. Who asked the question?
The American Wanderer.
The American Wanderer. I wish there was a way to search these, because that would be better. That would be better, and I can still hear that, whatever it is. Hey, Bud's here. Bud, how you doing, brother? Oh, here it is. Here it is. I'm going to put the question on the screen, and then I am going to... There we go. That's the question. He's got his PC. He finally got a guest set up, but he's using Skype, and it keeps resizing on him. And there is a fix for this. There is a fix. So let's pop over here. And there we go. We're in OBS. Now, we're going to pretend for a moment. I know it's tough, but we're going to pretend for just a second that... let's see. Let's use an image. Why not? What image is this? Hopefully it's not. All right, so we're gonna use this image right here, and let's say this image we have it cropped up. We're gonna crop it using the Alt key. This is all we want. This image would be our guest, right? Now, if I right-click on, if Skype automatically resizes its broadcast windows depending upon the person's bandwidth, and OBS of course is not really compliant with that. But here's what you can do. You right click on it and you go to transform, and then you go to edit transform, and then what you're going to want to do is in bounding box type you want to select scale to inner bounds, and boom. So then once you do that, you can resize it in any way that you want, and it will keep that spacing right there. So scale to inner bounds, and there you go, and it won't change sizes on you. It'll stay exactly that size right there, right? Yeah. So it'll stay just like, gosh darn it, right there. Yeah, it'll stay that size. Let's see if there's any more questions from the amazing Monica and the Monica Question Cam.
There is. It seems like overall people are saying it sounds better. Excuse me, so I'm just going to keep on going. Okay, my personal gold mine says, hi Michael, can you make a tutorial with Exceldro's Replay Source 1.6.4 plugin? I'm fighting with it for 2 days now.
Okay, so Replay Source, huh?
Replay Source.
All right, so I don't know what Exceldro's Replay Source is, but I'm assuming that it's a thing where you can press a key on your keyboard and then it will just pop up kind of like this, kind of like the box that's right there, and play over what you ever played. Now, I don't know much about it, so I'd have to check it out. But if you want to, you can send me a message on my Twitter, right there, and give me the deets on it. Tell me what the information is, and I will see if I can check it out. I will say this: I did some extensive testing on different plugins, as you can kind of see with this one right here, and some of the ones I'm using in the tutorial. Like if you look, I have this one here, which is doing some really cool stuff. If you want to know more about my favorite plugins and the ones I've been testing, I will show you how to do all those in a video that's coming up in about a week or so. So I don't know anything about the particular plugin that you're asking about, though, unfortunately. Don't use a Mac. Hey, I'm not saying don't use a Mac, Moss. I'm telling you right now, that's not what I'm saying. Do not hear what I'm not saying. I'm saying don't live stream with your Mac. I use my Mac every single day. I edit everything, I film everything, I cut up footage, I do all kinds of awesome stuff on my Mac. But the second I go to live stream, it lets me down every single time, and it's disappointing. I could never do this kind of stuff on my Mac for a live stream, even if it was brand new. I just couldn't, because it's just not what it's supposed to do. So I'm not saying don't use your Mac. I'm saying don't use it for live streaming. That's pretty much the bottom line. Let's see what the beautiful, amazing, fantastically lovely, and wonderful Monica Question Cam has going on.
Okay, after that, there are no more questions. However, there is now one from Jim. Gregory Simon does not like you putting me in the middle of traffic. So, there's that.
He'll be disappointed then.
Is that where I am right now? Okay, Wendell Live did say he sent an audio clip of me to your email address so you can figure out or hear how I sound.
Cool.
And let's see, Jim Morales says a couple new DSLRs have hit the market. What's your current recommendation for folks just starting?
Jim, all right. I love this question because it totally allows me to be a biased dickhead. You know, honestly, for folks just starting out, your cell phone is perfectly fine. I used this cell phone right here. This is an iPhone 10 right now. I used this cell phone right here for almost 2 years to film everything. I used an app called Filmic Pro. If you're not familiar with Filmic Pro, it's just it's just a filming app. You can film in 1920 by 1080. You can film in 120. I mean, you could do so much with this. And if you learn how to light your own stuff, this can work awesome. For almost my first 2 years, I filmed almost totally 100% exclusively outdoors, because that's the one flaw of filming with a cell phone, is that indoor filming with lighting and stuff is not great. If you're going to film with your cell phone, you can absolutely do that, and you can get away with it, and you can get some really good stuff. But I would highly recommend that you use an external microphone. See that dead cat over there?
Yeah.
This is what I invested in my first 2 years of filming. It just plugs in. It has a battery in it. And so, boy, I can't tell you how many times we got no audio because I'm too stupid to flip it on. But that's another story. You get one of these, you plug it in, you mount it on your tripod with your phone, and you're going to get high quality audio and the ability to edit. The ability to edit up footage that you get from your cell phone is awesome. You can make it just as good as any good DSLR. At least as far as what people can really notice. Now, here's the problem. You don't really notice how much different high-quality equipment like the Sony A6500 is, and like the A7 and some of the newer stuff that's coming out. When you're filming on your cell phone, you don't know the difference. So if you want to make your content look a certain way, have a certain look and all that kind of stuff. First of all, you film 30 frames per second, or 24 frames per second ideally, because that's more filmic. That's what people's eyes are used to telling them is really good quality. But secondly, find YouTubers out there that are creating the kind of look that you want. Get yourself a cell phone, get yourself a bunch of cheap lights, and see if you can recreate that look. And once you recreate that look, then you're gonna understand how it works. And this could take a long time. Believe me, the studio is way brighter than I want it to be right now, and that's kind of how it is when we're doing this show, because I want to make sure Monica's green screen is lit properly. But it took me months and months and months of tweaking and moving and playing around with my lights in order to get them so I felt like I was getting the kind of visuals that I wanted. And I have what most people would consider to be pretty decent equipment. So you can do the same things and get the same looks with this puppy right here. It just takes time. You just got to put in the work. You just got to put in the work. You got to find lighting situations that work. And by the way, I'm just going to tell you that lighting is hard. Sometimes, like when you first start filming, you think direct light is what you need. You need that light shining in your face. And the reality is that most of what I use in here There's not one single light pointed at me. Nothing is pointed at me. I have a light over here that's bouncing off of that wall. I have a light over here that's bouncing off of that wall. I have a reflector over here that's reflecting light onto me so that I look softer, so I'm not washed out. And you don't learn those tricks unless you play around and you just get your hands dirty and figure it out. And you can watch a million videos on how to light your scenes, because honestly, lighting is the key to looking good with any camera. And you can watch a million videos, but the only way to really figure it out is just to get your hands dirty and do it. So there you go. I wouldn't if you're just starting out, you want to learn to film, you want to have some fun, your cell phone is perfectly fine. Just get yourself some sort of external audio. That was a long way to answer that question.
Yeah.
Jim got his money's worth, I think. All right. I love it, Jim. Thanks for the question, man. I appreciate it. Let's go see what the amazing Monica Question Cam has going on.
Hi.
Watch out, honey.
I'm back. I know. What is it?
There's
What
a
is
tiger or a lion or something back there.
Okay, Soldiers 3000 says, hello, please advise on the RTMP multi-stream OBS plugin, how to set up best settings. Thanks for your help. Love from London.
Awesome. What was the user's name?
Soldiers 3000.
Soldiers 3000. I'm trying to see if I can find. There it is.
Got the questions?
I believe I do. I believe I do. I may not be able to actually help them too much, but let's see. So the RMTP multi-stream OBS plugin. Basically, for those of you who aren't familiar with the RMTP multi-stream plugin, it means that you could split your OBS stream into multiple connections so that you could stream, like you could stream one to OBS, or not to OBS, but you could stream one to like Restream and one to your own personal website, things like that. I don't have a lot of familiarity with it, but I do know that you can basically get the same feature from Restream.io, and you kind of know it's going to work, and I'm really familiar with how to set that up. I don't know much about the plugin. I heard a bunch of people are using it. Maybe it's something I'll have to look into, Soldiers. I wish I had more definitive information for you, but chances are the settings are going to depend on what RMTP that you're streaming to, whether it's a personal one for your website or whether it's an RMTP to, say, Restream or something like that. And Restream's settings are pretty standard. So you can just go to their website and they'll tell you what it's best to try to go to them from. But I wish I had more for you there, Soldiers. He kind of stumped me, but it's only because I haven't used it. So there's that. That is a stumper. Let's see what this fantastically amazing, wonderful Monica has going on. That's awesome.
We did get some donation from Jim Morales. Thank you
Jim,
very much. We
thank
appreciate
you.
that very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. That's awesome.
There is a question from Dexter Pandas. Dexter Panda? I have a question, just got a copyright music strike. Is there a tool where I can find out if artists have copyrights on them so I can avoid more strikes? I didn't realize there was music in the game. Any advice?
Dexter Panda. Hold on a second. Let me copy this. This is actually a really important question. I want to make sure that it's highlighted for sure. And the other thing that I want to do, just give me a moment here.
Is it still me?
Woo! That was incredible. But that was the wrong one. That was from last week, I think. But I want to just say thank you to Jim myself for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. I played the wrong one because I'm a moron. Where is the new one? That's the question. Where is it? It's here somewhere. I know it is. There it is. Hold on.
Whoa.
There we go.
That's awesome.
Because I kind of
Thank
gypped
you.
him out of getting a thing coming on the screen, and it wasn't right. So I want to make sure that Jim gets recognized. Thank you so much, Jim. So the question about copyright music strikes. All right. So YouTube has given us a lot more tools to be able to fix this problem if it does show up. If you're playing a game or something like that that has copyrighted music in it, I know Stuff like Tony Hawk and that sort of stuff used to be like the worst because all that music is copyrighted and there's nothing you can do. It plays while you're playing the game. So you can go in and click the button and it will basically mute the audio for those segments so that the video is still usable. But as far as getting around the copyright problems for music or how to know, if you go and you do a search for, if you do it's really hard to know, to be honest with you. What I would do is I would do a search for the game and then copyrighted music and see if anyone else has experienced issues with copyright strikes with that game. To me, that would be the easiest way to find out whether you're going to get possible copyright strike by using the game with the music. I think Nintendo's actually been kind of big with this. If you find out that the game is going to give you a copyright issues before you play it, you can always mute the music. You can toss on some music that you want in the background that's not copywritten or whatever, so the stream still sounds like it makes sense. But that's about all you can really do. If you do happen to get a copyright strike from the music, though, there is a place where you can go in edit or in the copyright strike, and you can click the thing, and it will ask you if you want to just remove the offending, and it will either mute it or it will just cut the segment out with the copyright problem. And this is only going to happen if people from that company are out there trolling around looking for it, if the YouTube algorithm doesn't pick it up. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, the YouTube algorithm won't pick it up if you turn it down and you're talking over it. I've had some situations back in my old vlogging days where I've gone into like a shopping mall or something like that, and there's copywritten music playing on the PA system, and I would just talk louder, and I never got dinged for it. So what you can do is turn the music down and make sure that you're talking over it, or make sure that the video game audio is loud enough so it's kind of louder than the music. And sometimes you can get away with it doing stuff like that. But video gaming is such a gray area for the copyright thing that your best bet is definitely to find out whether it's copywritten. Your best bet's probably just to do an online search to see if anyone else has gotten strikes from it.
He said use Ian Corzine.
Yeah, Ian probably can tell you, but that's going to cost you money.
Yeah.
So Ian could probably tell you if the music is copywritten, and he could probably even get a hold of the person who gave you the copyright strike and maybe give you the opportunity to work out a deal so you can use the music in your thing. But again, that's going to cost you money. And if you're just trying to find out which games, if you're thinking about playing a certain game and you just want to find out, doing a search online to say copyright and then that game, and other people will tell you, I had an experience with this game, I got a copyright strike. There are actually fake copyright strikes out there, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that someone just didn't like you, or someone didn't like something or whatever, and they put a copyright on there. So you can always take the first step and just say, sorry, but I don't think so. But you might want to search and just make sure that this hasn't happened to other people first. Because if the person who is given the copyright strike doesn't even own the music, then it's just somebody harassing you. So just be aware that that actually does happen as well. Let's go see what the amazingly fantastic Monica and the Monica question have going on.
Next question is from Park here, saying, what would you recommend for a basic computer setup specification to get a decent live stream? Does having a PC or Mac-based system have its advantage on streaming? Thanks, and stay safe.
Park here. I wish I could find this. Oh, here it is.
Yes.
Here it is.
There it is.
I did find it. We're getting some awesome questions tonight. I personally, I cringe and I love this particular style of question very much because I know this one it's a hot button thing. It really is a hot button thing because nobody wants me to tell them that they shouldn't stream on their Mac. And I'm not going to tell you shouldn't stream on your Mac. But if you are having problems with your live stream, 9 times out of 10, it's just because of your Mac. So what are the basics? This machine that I'm using here is not, and we're not talking about epicness of awesome online streaming. Let me see. Can I put my stats up here? This gives you some idea. So this machine has 16 megs of DDR3. It's old. It also has a 970 NVIDIA graphics card. And honestly, that's truly the key to quality live streaming, is to get yourself an NVIDIA graphics card that has the encoding on the chipset. And the reason why is because if I go into settings right here, and I go to, let's see, we're going to go to output. You can see right here, I'm using the NVIC encoder. That is the encoding chipset that's physically on my graphics card. So I could be playing a game and the graphics card can handle all that, and then sending it out and goes to the thing, and none of that ever touches my CPU, which is why you can see I'm using 0.72%. I mean, seriously, 0.72%. This is not, I built this machine bespoke in 2013, I think. So by 2013 standards, this was a really high quality machine. And I've had my screen over the thing, so you couldn't even see that because I'm a moron. Right here is the encoder I was talking about right here. This NVIC encoder is built into the actual chipset. So my recommendation would be to get yourself a reasonable i7 with, 4 to 8 cores. It doesn't need to be crazy. It doesn't need to be fast. It doesn't need to be costly.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Julio, thank you so much. Thank you. It doesn't need to be crazy. It doesn't need to be expensive. I am known as the guy who tries to do everything on the cheap. And I've paid the price for that in some ways, but I've also learned how to do it on the cheap. So if you go with an i7 or even an AMD chip, because honestly, the actual CPU of the machine, if you're using an NVIDIA graphics card with the encoder chip on it, the CPU is hardly going to touch the stuff, really. If you're just doing like an average Joe, if you're trying to do the Sushi Dragon, maybe you don't want the basics, but you can get away with the basics to do what I'm doing, believe it or not. You can have yourself an i7 with reasonably decent speed and 8 gigs of RAM. And this is DDR3 RAM. I think I might have 16 gigs. I'm not sure. An SSD hard drive that houses all of your overlays and elements so that they can quickly get loaded in. And then an NVIDIA graphics card with the NVIC code. Now, the reason why you struggle if you own a Mac is because you can't, even if you have a Mac with a graphics card in it, the coding is not written for you to be able to use anything but the X264. And X264 is all CPU. So that means your CPU is doing all of the work. So that means that it's doing the encoding of the stream and it's working with all the windows and all the applications and everything. So the streaming that I'm doing, I can use Photoshop over here and I can do whatever I want on my second screen, and that's going to use CPU, but it's never going to bog down the encoder or the graphics card. I can be running a video game and it's never going to bog down the CPU or the encoder. They're all totally separate, and that's one of the beautiful things about the way a PC is set up. And Mac hasn't figured it out yet. Now I'm gonna say this: I'm holding out hope that Mac's new ARM chipset can get the job done, but I won't know until I get my hands on them. So for now, you could go pretty cheap with a PC and a AMD graphics card that has the NVIDIA encoder, and you should be okay. Let's see, save changes now. All right. Let's see what Monica has to say, because she's pointing at me.
I am pointing at you. I have a couple different things to say. I just want to say thank you to Julio for the donation. There was also one we missed in there from Pythagoras. He did make a donation
Pythagoras
as well.
did?
He did. It didn't show up specifically. I think the coins dropped. I don't know. I was sort of watching, sort of not watching. So we do appreciate that a lot.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Pythagoras.
much. Thank you. There's a comment here from Art Johnson who says, sorry, but tons of folks successfully live stream on Macs. Just needs to be spec'd out for streaming. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh man. All right. I've been doing this for a really, really long time. There was a stretch where I live streamed every single day for at least an hour for an entire year. And I did that on a Mac every single day. Every single day. And you can do it. I'm not saying you cannot stream live on your Mac. That's not, people always hear what I'm not saying. You just, if you want it to go right, if you don't want to have to worry about jitteriness, lag, all the other stuff, it's just not made for that. It's made for lots of other awesome things. But if you bought a $3,000 Mac, it would have trouble competing with my $800 PC. Not because it sucks, but because that's not what it's made for. That's all I'm saying. It's gonna do editing and video encoding and stuff awesome. It's just not gonna live stream the way that you would want to if you had your choice. Here we go. Let's see what Monica has to say.
Okay, we do have a question from Artisan Art, who's looking for a tutorial on Stream Elements because he can't use his chatbots on Stream Elements.
All right. Let me see here. Let's go back here. Artisan Art, it is good to hear from you, man. It's really good to hear from you. So let's see. Oh, my buddy Dusty is. My buddy Dusty's outside the door. So a tutorial on Stream Elements. I cannot host. I cannot use chatbots on Stream Elements. All right. So I keep hearing about Stream Elements, and of course all of my custom widgets and everything are made with Streamlabs OBS. I understand. See, it seems odd that you can't use chatbots on Stream Elements. But what I need to do is actually dig into it and check it out a little bit, because I'm really unfamiliar with Stream Elements, to be honest with you. I've been using the Streamlabs stuff. So I think Artisan Art, I think that's a great idea. I think I will pick up a subscription to Stream Elements and kind of check it out and see what you can do with it. Because from what I understand, their custom widgets and that sort of stuff are just absolutely fantastic. So I want to check it out and see what you can do. And that's McGee Films in the house. Hello, Art Johnson. I didn't say hello to you. Man, this is awesome. I really enjoy just seeing all the folks that pop in here. And Avocado, not M. Hello. I think that's what it is. Let's see if we've got another question.
We actually do have another question from Avocado, not M. He says, I just want to ask how to feel more comfortable talking to a camera constantly. How can you overcome this?
Oh, this is such a cool question. I love this question. All right. I'm just going to come out with it. And I did a lot of videos on this really early on when I started my YouTube career, because I had the same problem. Feeling comfortable, especially talking to a camera, seems so super weird when you first start doing it. And thank you so much. Thank you for the subscribe. I appreciate it. When I first started streaming, when I first started YouTube, I had my cell phone and a really janky tripod and an idea. And I basically vlogged every single day. Usually my videos were between 3 and 6 minutes. And I talked a lot about the experiences in life that I was going through at the time. And if the first 50 videos are truly cringeworthy. And not that there weren't any great ideas, and not that I wasn't learning how to edit, because I'd never done any of this stuff before. But they're cringeworthy because I was not having a relationship with my audience through the camera. And when you learn, the only honest to goodness way to get more comfortable in front of the camera is just to do it. It's such a ridiculously natural thing right now for me to sit here and have a conversation like I'm actually talking to you, because that's how I feel, Avocado. But it takes a while to get there. So there's really no substitute for just doing it. So even if you put together videos that you're never going to release, if you try to sit down and talk to the camera and film something every single day for 50 days or 60 days or whatever, by the end of that 60 days, you're going to feel like you're more yourself. And I remember talking about it in my videos, saying, you know, for the first month or 2 months, I didn't even know who that guy was on camera. That was not me. And so by the time I got to my third or fourth month, I'm looking at the videos going, all right, so I'm kind of seeing that guy, the person that I am on camera. Uh, the funny thing about who you are on camera and who you are in real life is sometimes they don't always mesh in your head. And sometimes when you're watching yourself back on camera, which when you first start editing yourself, it's the strangest thing in the world. And you look at that and you're like, oh my God, am I really that boring? Or am I really that dull? Or do I never smile or whatever? And those are things that you learn over time to be able to have that natural discussion with the camera. It honestly, avocado, not am. I can totally relate to your question, and just keep doing it. Just keep doing it as much as possible, and you'll definitely get there. You'll definitely get there. One of the best things that I can think of that really helped me was to think about people that I had met on YouTube, or in your case, you watch the live stream here. If I'm your target audience, talk to me through the camera. When I talk to you through the camera, I'm talking to you. I can picture that in my head, and it makes it seem more comfortable and more easy to emote. So when you're delivering something to the camera and you want to be comfortable, who's your audience? Talk to them. Talk to your best friend. I know it's a camera and it feels weird, but if you're talking to them or you're talking to your wife or whatever, if that's in the back of your head, you're going to feel more natural. You're going to be able to be more yourself and, you know, project the kind of you that you want on camera. Because oddly enough, the you in person may not actually necessarily be the you that you want on camera. So sometimes you actually have to work on that a little bit too. The first thing you got to do is get comfortable talking on camera, and just doing it a lot is the best way for that to happen. Let's see what even Monica, you will have no idea. She's amazing. She's definitely not comfortable on camera, but she hops up here every night. And the reason why she can do that is because she's met Tech Examined, and she's met the Fantastic Joe, and she's met some of these folks in person. And when she's talking on the camera, it's more comfortable because she's talking to them. Let's see what she has to say about this, though.
I appreciate that. Yeah, Moss actually made a comment. He wrote, if Monica can do it, then there's hope for the rest of us. And I don't know if it was supposed to be a joke or not, but honestly, I am a very quiet person, and in a large crowd, or I don't tend to be that out there. I'm very, very reserved into myself, but somehow when I get on the camera, it's easier for me to talk and to talk to you guys, because this is a community we have here, and it's a great community, and I really enjoy just being part of it. So it is different between the person that I am and the person that I am on camera. They are two different people, but you know, overall, I'm still a nice person, I hope so.
You're not Ellen.
You just have to get to know me.
You're real. You're not Ellen, honey.
That's right. Okay, we're moving on to the questions now. Okay, next question comes from Giorgio Michael. No, sorry, Giorgio. Michael, what do you think of these apps? Are they good for YouTube making videos? Canva, Placeit, and Snappa. Sorry.
Oh, Giorgio. Man, I love you, brother. Monica's giggling over here because she knows how excited I am to get this question. This question is freaking awesome. Okay, so I've used Canva in the past to create thumbnails on my cell phone when I was on the road, and sometimes you have to do that. Snappa, I'm not terribly familiar with, so I don't know how you would make videos from it. I also don't know how you would make videos from Canva, but I'm going to tell you this, and in full disclosure, I am now sponsored by Placeit. And for those of you who do not know about Placeit, let me give you a little bit of information about what you can do with it. I'm gonna pop over here. First, let me put the Placeit link in the I want to put the link in the chat here if I can for you guys. because you're going to be amazed. And there's going to be a video coming out on this. I just want you to know. But that's the link to place it if you want to check it out. Let me show you a little bit about what you can do with this. This is awesome. Okay, so let me in small in my thing, and we'll come over here. All right, so I'm not sure that Place It is a program that you're going to want to use for. I'm not sure Place It is a program that you're going to want to use to create videos. However, I'm going to have a video, I think 2 weeks from now, that shows you how I created my own custom logo in Place It. So it's super easy. Yeah, that looks good enough. And you can go down here and pick your industry. Needless to say, my personal industry is YouTube, but you could pick whatever you want. It comes up with hundreds and hundreds of logo ideas right here. Hundreds of logo ideas right here. So I can pick one, I can edit it up, I can edit my colors, I can edit my thing, I can select different pieces of the background. And of course this has the Place It thing all over because I'm not physically logged into my account. I wasn't actually expecting to talk about this tonight, but you brought it up, so I figure why not. So you can create, so I'm going to show you in a video coming up, excuse me, how to use Place It to do so many incredible things with your channel. You can rebrand your channel. In other words, you can create a logo, you can create a banner, and you can create a bumper. The bumper is what I use between my intro to the video and the rest of the video, just to kind of brand my channel. And so you take the logo that you created in Place It. Excuse me. I apologize for that. You take the logo that you created in Place It, and you load it into one of their video templates that uses your logo, and boom, you've got an awesome bumper with music. You can change the music and everything. You can change every element of it. You can change background pictures and all that. I'm going to show you in the video. Some other really cool things that you can do is if you're a live streamer, Place It has templates for overlays, like this one here. Place It has templates for overlays like this one here that you could set up for your live stream. And they also, if you're a YouTuber, have overlays for end cards. So the place where you'd say, hey, if you like this video, you're probably going to like this one, so check it out. Well, they have the cards there where you can place your videos and your subscribe buttons. And they also have, from what I understand, custom transitions for your YouTube Live. So I know I'm a little bit biased, being as that I'm actually sponsored by Place It, but I did leave a link down there if you want to check it out. And I can tell you this, if you're trying to rebrand your channel, you want to create a bumper video, you want some templates for your backgrounds for your live stream or anything like that, you want to take your channel to the next level from the perspective of your branding, Place It is freaking awesome. I'm so thankful that you asked the question, Giorgio, because I've been wanting to talk about it. This deal's been in the works for about a month now, and I've been so excited to talk about it. So thank you for the question, and I hope that I was able to answer it for you. I would not make videos, by the way, using Place It, but you can make all your branding stuff and your bumper videos and advertisement videos and stuff like that that you would show on Instagram or something like that. You can easily do that on Place It. All right, so here, let's see what the wonderful and fantastically amazing Monica has to say in the Monica question cam.
Question from Roger James. What is the best setup for streaming a live music show?
Roger James, was it?
Roger James, yep.
Okay, I'm trying to find it here, so keep talking.
It's back a little bit, but it's in there. He needs to stream a live music show, so it's in there. It's in there. Like that pasta sauce.
I see it. I see it. It's in there.
He's got it.
I gotcha. What do you guys think about this? Being able to put the questions on the overlay. What do you think about that? All right, so it could be kind of prettier. I will say this: it could be prettier, but it is a solution, and I'm going to do a video on how to do it in the next couple of weeks. But Roger James asks, what is the best setup for streaming live music shows? Well, Roger, I get this question so much, and I'm really hesitant to be specific because latency is a real thing. And I, being a musician for a very large percentage of my life, or being at least a singer, where usually 4-part kind of harmony and that sort of stuff is involved, I realize that something is going to sound extremely horrible when you can't physically hear the other people on the stream, and when your streams mix together in a way that's not exactly the same timing as that you would have played it. So, having said that, from a solution of actually broadcasting a live music show, maybe Skype is your best audio option, as long as you have pretty high-end equipment that's able to encode everything coming in and your connection is good. But you may want to try something like Restream.io, which is connected, which theoretically is connected to the internet in such a way that it takes pieces of what your machine can or can't do out of your hands, and it might give you the ability to cut down a little bit on the latency and actually be able to put together a live rehearsal or something like that. So far, I've struggled with being able to get people set up to do a live music broadcast where musicians are not in the same place. And that's just because of the inherent nature of the fact that it takes this guy's connection just this much longer to get to your machine than it takes that guy's connection. And
Woo,
that
was incredible.
Keeves, thank you so much for the subscribe. I appreciate it. And that's unfortunately the nature of the beast. So maybe try something like Restream.io and see how it works in the practice session, and then possibly take it from there to something that, if you can do it in something like Restream.io, which takes all of the technical issues and stuff out of it, then maybe putting something like that together. Otherwise, I think Skype might be your best option, because of the sound quality aspect of Skype is just, in my opinion, a little bit higher.
Whoa, that's awesome. Thank you.
Oh no, what did I miss? Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness, I totally missed that. Here, what's that? Oh wow. All right, so here is the link to here's the link to Restream if you want to check it out. And let me see. Wow, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You guys are amazing. I want to do this because I missed it.
That's
and we
awesome.
should be able to celebrate
Thank you.
together. Thank you, Giorgio. I appreciate that. That's epic. And you know what? I just figured out how to do that too, so that's kind of why I'm pushing that. But you know what we missed, and I've never been able to do this because I always don't catch this. But I want to do this. Is it gonna work?
Woo, that was
There we go.
incredible.
Thank you, Pythagoras. I want to personally thank you, because every time it seems like we miss it somehow, and I shouldn't.
Woo,
So
that was
you're the best.
incredible.
There we get 2 of them because I apparently hit the button twice. But thank you, Pythagoras. Pythagoras always donates every stream, and I miss it every time because I'm a horrifyingly bad person. I mean, I'm not Ellen DeGeneres bad, but seriously, if you don't know, I just don't get it. The Ellen thing, just, man, how can you really be that much different than the person you play on TV? That boggles my mind. You know, I hate to say it, folks, but what you see is what you get here. there's no hiding behind the curtains. Let's see what the Monica Question Cam has to say.
Astro Parsh has a question. Says, hey, I apologize if you've answered this before. What changes do you recommend I should do in a video on YouTube after it was streamed so it gets more views?
Man, you guys are bringing it tonight. We're not even getting all live streaming questions, and I cannot tell you how exciting that is for me. That is super, super exciting. So there's Astroparsha's question. What changes would you recommend I should do in a video on YouTube after it was streamed? Okay, so the first thing that I do to try to make sure that it gets picked up more is if you have a bumper at the beginning, and I always do, I always try to go live about 5 minutes before before the time. So I go live at 7:55 so that by the time my countdown timer runs off, I go live at about 8 o'clock. And I personally believe that if you say you're going to stream at 8 o'clock, you should go freaking live at 8 o'clock. You shouldn't go live at 8 o'clock and then be waiting 5 minutes to go live. So that's just my personal philosophy. You guys can do whatever you want with that. But the first thing I do when my live streams are finished is I go ahead and I cut that 5 minutes out in the edit button. As soon as it's finished processing, I go into edit, I cut that 5 minutes out. I find that immediately at least causes more viewers to be interested. But once you live stream, and this is just a simple fact, unless you are live streaming some extremely special event, like, I don't know, you've seen great white sharks eating a dolphin or a whale, and you're live streaming that. It's a one-time thing. It's something people don't get to see a lot or something. Unless you're live streaming something like that, generally speaking, live streams do not tend to live that long. So, how would I make that content live longer? Well, after the live stream is over, let's say I did a particularly in-depth tutorial on how to use something in live streaming or to how to go through your analytics, and I thought, well, a lot of people might want to know this, and they're not going to watch a 2.5-hour live stream. YouTube's given us some tools so that you can just put timestamps in your comment or in your description to take people right to those times where you answer a certain question or you hit a specific point that you think is interesting. For me, I'd rather spend my time just downloading the actual full live, go into my editing program, whatever your editing program happens to be, and cutting that section out and uploading it with a new thumbnail and call it whatever it is. And if that content was really good when you live streamed it, that's the kind of stuff that could have legs afterwards, because you're just cutting out the segment that people might really be interested in. There are a few examples of people who have done live streams that I've seen that have been pretty successful. In fact, some of them get views constantly. Almost every single one of those live streams are less than 30 minutes, and usually they're about a very specific product or service. So I've seen folks do a live stream talking about a specific microphone that happens to be very popular, and they go through the specs and the features, and then they get off the live stream. Maybe they answer a couple of questions to the folks in the live stream, but usually those things last about 20 minutes, and then there's a chance that could live on. But if you're like me and you're doing 1.5-hour, 2-hour live streams, this video is going to get maybe 30 views after it's done, and that's just kind of the way it is. It's awesome to live stream to folks, but that is, in my opinion, a little bit of a drawback. So to summarize, to make them live longer, cut that any bumper you have at the beginning with a countdown off the second that you get a chance to edit. 2, add timestamps in your description to specific areas where you think people might be interested in that particular topic. Or 3, download the video, cut it out in your editing program, and upload it with a new thumbnail that talks about, upload it with a new thumbnail and title about that specific subject, and you can get some play out of your live streams. All right, let's see what Monica has. I hope that answers your question, brother. Let's see what Monica has to say.
Yeah, another question from Artisan Art saying, what is de-interlacing on OBS?
People ask me these sorts of questions. Artisan Art, you're killing me, brother. I just want you to know that. And here's why I say that. Because I'm definitely not a camera expert. It's my understanding that interlacing is the way that the the way that the scan lines run down and across on your machine when it's putting together the image. And deinterlacing means that they're only running across or something. But I think there's a very, very high likelihood that I'm totally wrong on that. And someone who knows a heck of a lot more about the way the cameras work and the way video work would probably be able to answer that. Maybe somebody like Mike, like Tech Examined, or definitely Jay Littman might be able to specifically answer that question, because that's kind of my interpretation of what it means. And I've never actually used that feature, just so you know. So I'm probably really stupid and really wrong on that one, but that's the interpretation that I've gotten from other people, or at least the way that I interpret what they tell me, which is probably wrong. So please don't take my word for it. You stumped me on that one too, because I'm so totally not a camera guy. I know about enough to be dangerous. There you go, honey. What you got?
It's on me. I have a question from Keith's Playworld. Is a 16 gigabyte of RAM with i5 NVIDIA GTX 1650 Intel i5 8th gen type of laptop with a good internet speed, can it handle OBS Streamlabs gaming stream? Thanks in advance.
So where are we at here? What's his name?
This is Keith's Playworld.
Keith's Playworld.
Keith, it's up a bit.
I see it.
Do you see it? Okay.
I see it.
We got it.
All right, Keith. So let me, Keith. All right. There we go, Keith. Man, now that's really embiggened. All right. The GTX 1650 should be more than enough to be able to handle the encoding for your live stream. So you got the live stream piece of it covered. All right. So the 16 gigs of RAM should, again, more than enough. It's probably DDR3, which is what I have in here. 1650 should be able to handle a decent amount of gaming. The i5 is the only place where I think this particular laptop is skimping. So what I'm going to say is that chances are, if you are using OBS Studio, you will probably have better luck streaming games. But the biggest problem with live streaming games on a laptop to begin with is that you really want to try to have at least 2 monitors. You want to do a game capture or a display capture, depending upon what you're using. So, I know, I'm going to hear it. So why don't I use Streamlabs OBS? I don't use Streamlabs OBS because it is essentially an overlay for OBS. That's all it is. They took what is open source software in OBS Studio, and they've put a pretty skin on top of it. You can do everything that you can do in OBS Studio that you can do in Streamlabs OBS. So I don't use it simply because I don't need the extra overhead bogging down my computer. So if you try to do what you want to do in Streamlabs OBS and it doesn't work because there's a lot of Streamlabs OBS overhead, then try OBS Studio and see if you have any better luck. Also, I did a video on how to troubleshoot what might be causing your problems. So if you are running a stream with games on your laptop and you're noticing that you're dropping frames and things like that, this video should be able to help you to determine what is actually causing the problem. If you haven't seen it yet, let me see if I can find let me see if I can find this video for you, because I think this could be really helpful. A lot of people don't understand how to actually troubleshoot their streams when they do get dropped frames or things like that. Now, just to be totally clear, like earlier in this stream, I was having problems with Monica's audio and all that kind of stuff. You're live streaming, so something definitely is always going to go wrong. It just happens. It's just the way it is. There's the link to that video that'll show you how to troubleshoot your stream in case you're having any problems. When you're live streaming, something's going to go wrong. It's just the way it is. So definitely, hopefully, be willing to accept a little bit of give and take on that front. A microphone's not going to work. A camera's not going to be bright enough. It's just... I never move any of my equipment. It stays in the same place every single day, but I still occasionally end up, because of the complexity of my setup, with weird glitches, like a microphone not functioning properly or something. So just be aware that kind of stuff does happen, but you can, generally speaking, pinpoint problems that are happening all the time and what the reason is if you use this, if you use that video as a guide. It'll tell you what's causing the problem. All right, let's see what Monica's got going on.
We have another question from Park here. He says, which social media platform would be best for someone starting to share and create their content? Does video content, such as video podcasts, video blogs, more superior than podcast?
Park here, this is a super cool question. Wow. I love this question. Okay, so for me, I'm a fan of YouTube. I love YouTube. I think YouTube has the best search engine you could possibly have. They release all the information about how that search engine works. And even if you have 0 subscribers, you have the opportunity to have a major hit video, because if you create searchable content that people care about, YouTube's going to show it. Like, everything that YouTube wants is right out there in the open. So it's easy to understand how it works and how to get noticed and how to create content that they want to share. Now, it takes some time. Their algorithm isn't brilliant. It just tells you what it wants, and then you just give it to them. But some of the other algorithms out there on different social media platforms, like the algorithm that handles video content and that sort of stuff on Facebook, for me, sometimes that seems more like pay to play than anything else. So in other words, if you're willing to pay to bump up your content or whatever, they'll play it more with somebody else. And you can still do that on YouTube if you wanted to. But YouTube's ultimate goal is to make money through advertisement. And not advertisement from me, advertisement from people who like my content and want to advertise on it. So their goal is to show my content to as many people as possible so those folks see those ads. Facebook seems to have taken the other side of the equation, where they're more than willing to make money off of me promoting my own content. And I don't feel like I should have to do that. Plus, there isn't necessarily an obvious path to monetization on something like Facebook or Twitter. So the number of, and Instagram as well. Not that you can't make money on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, because you definitely can make money on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The difference is that most of the work is going to be on you. Whereas if you grow a YouTube channel, you know when you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you're getting a cut of the ad revenue. Period. End of sentence. You don't know any of that on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. So I use Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and even some Twitch as part of my overall branding strategy for my channel. But my main goal, or my main focus, is YouTube, and that's because with YouTube, at least, there is a direct path to monetization and financial enlightenment. Whereas to those other things, well, you have to know more about the business side of things. And if you're going to learn about that business side of things anyways, YouTube is a great place to start, because you know you're going to be monetized at 1,000, 4,000, and you can get integrated into that stuff. Now, I will say this, from a business perspective, if you get views, it doesn't matter if you have 8 subscribers. If you get a video that gets 275,000 views, brands are going to contact you. Brands are going to contact you. If you have 10 subscribers, but you put out a video that gets 270,000 views, brands are going to contact you. Brands realize that if YouTube is interested in your content and they're sharing it and you're getting views, then they want to be able to put themselves in front of your audience, especially if it's an audience that they can relate to. So don't worry about subscribers, worry about views, because nobody ever got paid for a subscriber. Never. You get paid based on the number of views that you can generate. And that's by sponsors and by YouTube and by anyone else. Subscribers is a really, really awesome number. And I'm so excited and proud of every single person that made the decision to say, Mike's content's pretty awesome. I want to see what he does next. But as a YouTuber, it's a big trap to focus on that subscriber number, because it's totally meaningless if you want to make money. So, hopefully that answers your question in a really roundabout, sort of long-winded way. As far as podcasts go, podcasts seem to be becoming extremely popular right now. There are a couple of people that I know who have launched podcasts even in the last 6 months that have become very successful very quickly. Again, podcasting is kind of the same as Instagram and Facebook and all those things. The path to financial gain from a podcast isn't specific. You have to understand the business of the whole thing. They don't just hand you the platter once you reach a certain threshold. Now, if your podcast takes off, that doesn't matter because, like I said, people will approach you. But I just feel like the path to learning that stuff is made so much easier by the framework that YouTube already has set up. I hope that makes sense. Alrighty, let's see. Was that too much? Yeah. Nah, it is okay.
We're good.
All right.
Yeah, we actually have Wrestler Mania and the Dude Rocks are in the house.
Wrestler
which is
Mania,
great.
hello!
And it's good to see you guys.
Oh, the dude is in the house too.
The dude
Awesome.
is in the house. Yep. We got some oldies but goodies in the house. So thanks for stopping by, guys. We appreciate it. Next question is from Moss, who says, does Placeit do animated call to action templates that run in the corner of a YouTube video?
All right. Okay, so if you're talking about call to actions like the subscribe button and stuff that I use in my streams, Placeit does not do that. But Placeit is part of a company called Envato Elements that does do that. And if you're interested in checking out what Envato Elements has to offer, let me give you a link right here. Let's see, because I use Envato Elements for all of the elements that you see in my videos. If you see the subscribe button or you see that lower third banner that says my name and tools, tips, and tricks, all that stuff I get from Envato Elements. I absolutely love it. So Placeit doesn't have those things, but Envato Element does, and man, it's awesome. When you start messing around there, you're going to be amazed. You're going to be absolutely amazed at what you can do with it. So if you're looking for that, go ahead and check that out. All right. Did we have a question from Ace? Because I found it on my screen.
Yes.
Is that next?
You may go ahead. You can ask it, I can, or you can ask it yourself. Oh, me. Okay. Well, excuse me. Something in my throat. Okay, he says, I'm in the meditation relaxing videos niche, and all the big channels streams multiple live videos at the same time. I'm a small channel starting out. Does not having live videos hurt me?
All right. So Ace, let's parse this out, because I know that I talk a lot about seeing what other people in your niche are doing, and then essentially emulating what they're doing. So I would find the most popular folks in that niche that are doing the kind of things that you want to do, that you want to replicate, and do something similar. But if you don't want to produce long form live content and stuff like that, because like I said, to be honest with you, long form live content doesn't live much past the broadcast. So if you wanted to produce something that maybe has more longevity, you can take a lot of the hints, a lot of the cues from what they're doing on their live stream, and you can create shortened content like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. And you can name it in such a way that someone who might not necessarily have 3 hours to sit on a live stream, like total meditation in a hurry and stuff. So just use the same techniques and tactics that they're doing on their live streams and put them in shortened videos and use that to your advantage. Because let's face it, most people don't have 2 hours to sit on a live stream, but everybody has 20 minutes, and lots of people want to meditate. So I would just use that to your advantage. And that's not to say that you might be at a slight disadvantage by not live streaming if that's what's proven to work in your niche, but there's more than one way to make an egg. And so if that's not the kind of content that you want to do, or you want to do something that's edited so that you can have yourself walking folks through the meditation, but you want to have epic backgrounds and scenic things and stuff. Trust me, there's a market for well-produced videos. Oh boy. See, we're going to have to turn the All right, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. You're gonna get a little bit more noise now because we had to turn the air conditioner on because my camera's overheating. So Ace, I hope that answers your question. Don't be afraid of not live streaming. Live streaming is an option, but there's so many other excellent ways to reach the same audience. So hopefully that helps you, and hopefully Monica's microphone will work properly. Let's see what happens.
I'm just kidding. Is this any better? Can you guys still hear me?
We can still hear you.
Okay, we're good. All right, so
There's
we
still
have
a lot of fan noise.
We have one from Christopher Pepper. Lace Out Podcast from Australia. How do you record the system audio when using Restream Studio? I use the audio for our podcast.
Okay. And what was the name of the...
Christopher Pepper.
Probably not going to be able to find this, am I?
That was a little ways back.
Alright, well that's okay.
Yes.
Christopher, this is pretty simple. Let me go over here to the tutorial screen. Okay, so if we wanted to record audio, let's say we have an audio input coming in here. Let's see. Okay, so let's say we had, well, what was the example? What was the example he used? Oh.
How do you record the system audio when using Restream?
Okay, so recording system audio. You go into audio output capture, and you can call it whatever you want. I have one already set up here called zoom output, but we're not going to use that. We'll go to OK. So now you want to, for this drop down, you want to select the location where you would be listening to your audio. Usually if you're going to have guests, because it sounds like you're using Restream, so you're going to be listening to the audio through your headphones. So what you would want to do is you want to drop this down and you want to select that audio output as your device. And then click OK. So now everything that's coming through my headphones, this is going to pick up. Now it's not showing anything because I'm not hearing anything in my headphones. But just for example, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to my advanced properties and I'm going to change my microphone to monitor and output. And there you go. Now you can see it and I can hear it and it's delayed and it's really annoying. But that's how you're going to pick up your... That's how you're gonna capture that audio and bring it onto your stream. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, where am I at here? Let's see what Monica's got going on.
Okay, we have one more question in queue from Doc Murdoch. You might want to find this one yourself because it's pretty complex, but I will read it. He says, can you show a simple lower third box that slides up from center bottom, expands for the text, and have the text fade in, pause, and then fade out? Then the box collapses and slides down off screen. He's laughing at this one.
Oh, Doc. Seriously, brother. This is like a full-on tutorial you're asking for. All right. Let's put this one on screen. By the way, who's digging the comment question on screen? Is that cool? Is that cool? You want to learn how to do that? That's going to be in a video coming up. All right, so I'm not sure I'm going to actually be able to get too deep into what Doc Murdoch is asking, but let's say the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Pixlr and I'm going to create the elements. So let's say what you want to create is, and I stream in full HD. All right, so you wanted to create, let's see, show a lower third box that slides up from the center bottom, expands for the text, and have the text fade in and pause, and then fade out. And then the box collapses and slides down off the screen. All right. So what we want to do is let's create a box here. my cat is unhappy. I just want you guys to know that. Unhappy cat. Hopefully my audio is not too bad though. I don't like that. But that's gonna work for now. Alright, so this is gonna, let's pretend this is our lower third. Alright, and we're gonna add some text to it as well. Free transform that. So this is, that's our box. Let's add text. Add text. Your text here. Alright, that looks cool. I like it. Okay, so because you want this mostly centered, I think you said. Slides up from the center, expands for the text, and then the text fades. Okay, so what we're gonna do, no, we don't want to add a layer. We're gonna go here. We're gonna move this over to the center. This would be the final resting place of where your stuff is gonna go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the text. I'm gonna go to File and Save. I'm gonna save this as a PNG. Let's call it lower third box. And so we've got that. Now we've got that. All right. So now what I want to do is I want my text in my final resting place as well. We're going to File, Save. Lower third text. Now I'm just going to tell you guys there's a million freaking ways to do this. So I'm just going to quickly try to walk you through them. And then I'm going to go into After Effects. Yeah. And hopefully this isn't going to kill my stream. If the stream dies, you can blame Doc Murdoch for that. But hopefully this won't kill it. Hopefully it won't. My CPU usage is at 5.8%. So, alright, so we're going to do a new composition, 1920 by 1080. Frame rate is 30 frames per second. That's fine. We'll call this... what are we going to call this one, Doc? What should we call it? Let's call it lower third. Lower third animation. Alright. And we're going to click OK. And what we're going to do now is we're going to drag in those two images that we just created right here. We're going to drag those properties in. We're going to zoom in here. We can see it probably could have been better centered, okay? But just blame it on the rain. Alright, but what you can see here is I can move these particular devices independently of one another now. If I go in here, I can adjust my box, and I can do the same thing with the text. So initially you said that you wanted this box to come up from the bottom and expand out. Slides up from the center bottom and expand for the text. Alright, so let's do this the simple way. So our lower box, we're gonna check on position, and this is where we want our box to end up. So we're gonna leave that there. I think I like it a little higher than that, actually. No, not that. Not that. Let's embiggen this so everybody can see it. There we go. Right there. Right there. So that's where we actually want our box to end. And then we're going to move our playhead right here to the very beginning, and we're going to slide our little box the right way off the screen. Let's see. Can't redo. Darn it. Undo. Change value. There we go. So now we're going to slide our little box off the screen. So if you look, if I play it, boom, there are little boxes flying on the screen. Now we want our text to start opaque so we can't see it. So at the very beginning, and this is our end opaqueness right here. So we want our text to start like that. So theoretically, we've already got half of our animation. Ooh, look at that. We don't want really this to come up until our box is in place. So let's try this. Let's try this. So if we did that and boom, comes up, our text fades in. Now all we have to do to get our text to fade out is do something like this, where I'm holding the Alt key, I'm selecting this, I'm holding the Alt, I'm just copying Control C, and I'm pasting Control V, and now you can see when I do this, we've got the text comes on, fades in, fades out. We can make that longer. There we go. There it is, fades out, and there we go. And what I like to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to Control C it, and we're going to paste it out here. Alright, so now we've got the makings of what you're asking for. Text fades in, fades out. Okay, so now we just need our little box to come on here and then embiggen itself. Alright, so how are we going to do that? Well, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use some masks. So I'm going to create a mask here. Am I going to do that? Is that what I want to do? Well, let's see how this works. Lower third text box. So we want this shape layer. I don't know. This might not work the way I intend it to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as a mat. So we want to use it as an inverted mat. So if you can see here, when I move this, whoops, no, not that. We don't want another. So when I move this rectangle, let's see, fill stroke, let's transform. When I move the position of this rectangle the right way, it embiggens our box, right? You see how that works? Alright, so we need a second one on top of the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these two layers. Is this going to work? I don't know. This might work. I'm gonna pre-compose these two layers. And we're going to call this box expand. Alright, and in the box expand thing, what I'm going to do is we are going to start from here, and I'm going to take my shape layer and I'm going to transform that so it will go, that's not what I want. I'm going to take my shape layer and transform it. So we want, this is about the point where our text starts to come in. So we want this to be as big as it's going to get when it gets there. So we want this to go, we're going to start in this position, and we want this to expand out like this. So there we go. So we're going to, so here's how this is going to look if we play it like this. And I know you're going to be like, oh, but that's only half of it. Hold on. There we go. It doesn't look smooth because that's just the way life is when you're live streaming. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another box. And we're going to do that on this side, right here. And that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, we're going to create, there we go, another box right here. And I'm going to move this into a location that I want it, which would be over this way. And we'll move this back here so we can see. So it's about where the other one is. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to take our shape layer, we're going to move it down here, and we're going to use this as an inverted alpha mat. So now when it pops up and it looks the same, so all we have to do is we have to go in here and look where our box expands, which would be right here. And so we're gonna add a positional frame in here, and I'm gonna go back in here to see where our box finishes, which is here. And we're gonna go back into our 3D animation, and what I'm gonna do is move this position the right way, that way.
He said he got it. So it's exactly what he was trying to figure out how to do. So thank you.
All right, all right. So now, let's go back. Let's take a look since everyone else might not get it. But now we've got that, and boom. And you can obviously play around with the way that all of this stuff animates. It can be, you have to use the ease ins and the ease outs and all that stuff. But there you go. That's how you can make an animated lower third. And in order to save this out, you can either use WebM or you can use other stuff. I have a video that shows you how to do this. If you want to know where to find that video, you can just message me on the twits right here, and I will tell you. But thank you for the question, Doc. I love to be able to get deep into one of these tutorials. Hopefully everyone found that enlightening and interesting.
Well, let me read the last question, the last comment from Giorgio. That's tied to this.
Okay, so let's copy this one.
There is another question before that, so you can look at that one, or I can read that one.
Well, let's do this one since you mentioned it. Giorgio says, Michael, I have a very good advice. Can you do a live show on how to make thumbnails, art channel, and end card YouTube videos, tutorials, step by step? You should try to make it work. I actually, when I first started doing this particular series, I tried to go live for a 30-minute stretch and just teach one technique, and then after that I would go live again for a full Q&A. Didn't work as I had hoped, but there are a few of those videos that are still listed that still get some play. But if you guys would like me to go live and demo a specific tactic or technique, hit me up. Message me on Twitter or Facebook or wherever and say, hey Mike, I'd love to see a live demo of how to make a thumbnail. This is the kind of stuff that I really want to do like once a month for folks that follow me on Patreon or something like that. So if you're interested in helping to support the channel and you become a Patreon, as soon as I have 15 or 20 folks that are interested in me doing a live broadcast every month, I want to do something where I can actually demo techniques directly to those folks. So that's kind of one of those things that I've been tossing around, but I just haven't gotten to yet. So thank you, Giorgio. Let's see what Monica's what she's got on tap for us.
There's one more question. It came from Virus. Yes. Why doesn't my AMD encoder show up when you have AMD?
Yes. Virus, hold on a second. Let me post this question. This is a good one. A lot of folks have this problem. So you got an AMD graphics card and your encoder's not showing up. Okay. So let me get rid of this because this be done. Don't save. Okay. We're going to go into our OBS. So most people realize that when you go into output, if I go down here, my NVIC card shows up. That's because it's NVIDIA. But AMD doesn't have a direct plug-in like that. So if I were to go to OBS plugins, and even if I don't spell it right, I can still get there. See? And we do a search for AMD, and there's nothing found. All right, hold on. Studio scripts guides classic. So in this, all right, I don't know exactly what it's called because I don't own an AMD chip, but in this thing, actually, let's just solve the problem. AMD OBS encoder. There you go. Hardware encoder, OBS forums. Here's where you go, brother. This will, if you download it and install it and add it to your machine, give you the ability to add to select your AMD as the encoder that you want to use. I hope, Virus, that answers your question, because that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. Any more questions?
Yes,
all right, we got another question. Here we go.
We do have one more question from Scott Hampton. He says, does Michael have any advice as to why I may have trouble with Zoom using my Chromebook? Is it just Chrome doesn't like Zoom? I have great Wi-Fi.
Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, that was fun. Did you see how that just switched back to Monica for fun? Yeah. So like I said, live streaming doesn't always go the way you want it to. Scott, I like this question. One of the problems that you're going to run into on a Chromebook is that it doesn't have. It's not a laptop in a traditional sense. At least most Chromebooks that I have experience with are much more like tablets than laptops, in that they don't have, like, you can run a Zoom app or something like that.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
But thank you, Patchy. Patchy, is that right, Patchy? Thank you, Patchy. They're not specifically designed for intensive purposes. So a Chromebook doesn't have a video card. It doesn't have a graphics card to speak of very much. So when Zoom is bringing signal into your machine and it has to encode all the pictures and all that stuff, it doesn't have the kind of horsepower that a normal laptop would have, or a Mac or something like that. Like a Chromebook is almost more like a tablet than a computer. So a Chromebook was really initially designed to use web applications like Google Sheets and Google Docs and Google, the Google, and then surfing the web. That's essentially what a Chromebook was designed for. So I know they're kind of moving into more of the hardware laptop type area, especially since Mac is going to start using ARM chips as well. But essentially, that's probably your problem, is that your Chromebook just doesn't really have the kind of computing power that you need to have multiple guests on the screen at the same time for Zoom. Now, what I would recommend is that Chromebooks are generally optimized for Chrome. So you could use the Google Hangouts or something like that. You might have more success with that than you will with Zoom. That would be my recommendation. Unfortunately, Chromebooks are just kind of the way. You also want to be careful about your Wi-Fi. Like anytime you live stream, I highly recommend that if you're going to live stream or you want to live stream, you live stream with a wired connection. Even Monica's computer that she's not live streaming from right now is a Mac laptop that is still plugged into the network, so that she has the best connection that she can get, so she can get me as much information as I need in real time. And wired connections are just faster. So folks complaining about latency and stuff like that on their live streams, a wireless connection adds those hundreds and tenths of hundreds of seconds to your guests reaching you. If you want the best possible connection with the fastest possible setup, wire your connections in. Believe me, it was a big pain in the butt to do it in this room, but it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. So hopefully that answers your question, Scott. Let's see if we have any others from this amazing Monica.
At this time, there are no questions in queue.
All right. Well, then I guess that means that we're done. I guess that means that we're done. And it's been awesome, man. This has been one of my favorite live streams because I got to answer such a bunch of different types of questions. I did not realize how many YouTube growth and just YouTube process questions I was going to start getting. And I can't tell you how much I love that, because I started out really just wanting to do YouTube growth and YouTube help things that can help people not make the same kind of mistakes that I did for the first 2 years that I did YouTube. So it's exciting when people now look at me and say, well, he knows what he's doing, let's ask him. So thank you guys, at least for for thinking of me in that way. I do appreciate it. I also love to do the live streaming piece of it, and I want to answer as many questions as I can. So thank you guys for coming in here with all of your questions and hanging out with Monica and I for a couple hours. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, every single one of you who donated to the stream or contributed in any way whatsoever, even with just a question. It means the world to us. I couldn't possibly do this with Monica if you guys weren't excited and interested to come in here and hang out with us and ask questions. I know I can be kind of an obnoxious jackbag sometimes, but I'm just having fun with it, so I hope you can understand. And I hope it's entertaining, because at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? Guys, it's August, what is it, August 1st? August 1st. You're getting one August 1st. Over the last 4 months, I've lost 4 parents. That's not true. 3 parents. Monica's dad died about 4 months ago. My dad died about 2 months ago. And my mom died about a month ago. None of those are due to COVID. None of them had anything to do with COVID. And that's not to say that COVID's not a big deal and it's not something you should be careful of, but be careful of how much of your life all of this seclusion is taking from you. Be safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, but go do shit, okay? Go out, see your friends, tell them how much you love them, make sure that the people in your life know how much you care, because you just don't know. It's a blink of an eye and they're gone. So even if you can't be with those loved ones and you can't go to see them, call them on the phone, get them on a Zoom call, go in Restream.io, send them a link, connect up there. Do what you can to stay in connection and keep things as normal as you possibly can. All of this is going to pass at some point, but you can never get back those people that you lost. You just can't. So you've got to make the best of what you can every single day. Make it special, make it count, and make sure that the people that you love know how much you care about them. That's what I have to say. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I really, really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. Oh, it's Pauline Newman, the YouTube angel. Love you, Pauline. Sorry I didn't get to say hi to you earlier. You guys are all freaking amazing. I will see you. Man, it'll seem like the blink of an eye. Love ya.